franchise stewards 343 Industries are changing their name. Halo Studios is here. And I do think that is notable because it seems like they are all in on Halo. That's all they're focusing on. I don't really know why they were called 343. I'm sure it's a reference to something.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, today we got some of that sweet salt, or maybe extra salt, we'll have to see, but this is some pretty big news in regards to what's been going on, of course, and we're talking about a lot of Halo themed salt coming here, and we'll explain why. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is get right to the salt, of course. Just a preemptive warning here in regards to Jez Corden here. I tried to leave this guy alone. He's not a horrible individual. He is block happy, but man, I try to give the benefit of the doubt. We had a good conversation in regards to a thread in one of the past videos even, so I just try to let bygones be bygones, leave it alone. Don't try to go after, but here we go. He puts foot in the mouth, right? Here we go. This is why I have an issue with those that say things that are not true. So case in point, as you can see here, for those asking, none of this is accurate. In regards to Idle Sloth's rumor, Halo Infinite Battle Royale switching engines due to Unreal and is significantly delayed to 2024-2025. Bonnie Ross not fired, Bobby Kotick to remain board member, next campaign will be in Splice, not be in Slip Space, Engine, Salt, all this stuff. Right now, obviously, as of the time of this recording, a lot of this came out, right? Everything pretty much happens to be true, except for, the Bobby Kotick and a couple little things. But in regards to Halo Infinite switching the Unreal Engine and so on and so forth, well, Jez also now deleted this post. So I just don't understand where one comes and states, you know what, this is not true, and saying all this stuff. Like, if you don't know for sure, and I don't know who your insider is or what your source is, but man, we're just missing things left and right, Jez, and that's the unfortunate part. I try to leave it out of there, but I do have to state, this is why channels like mine kind of pull you up into these forefronts, because if you're going to say something and you seem to be a pretty credible source, you seem to have a good outing with Windows Central and stuff, this is the kind of thing that leaves you out there for fair game, kind of like a piñata, so to speak, right? So it didn't age too well. And now tweet is now gone.
What?
Right, but let's continue on, because that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Just kind of wanted to share that example. Now, as we can see with Tom Warren, of course, just a reminder, I reported on some future Halo stuff in my Notepad newsletter in June, of course, via The Verge, all that stuff. And this is in regards to one game that is being considered for release on PS5 is Halo. Those sources tell me Microsoft is working on some form of a Halo Combat Evolved remaster that is also being considered for rival consoles. I don't expect Microsoft to announce this during the showcase, as it's early days for this remaster. So just kind of keep that in mind, just sharing that real quick. So because of this, we have some real salt from folks we haven't featured on this channel yet. Who are they? Don't know, don't care, but the salt is real, and that's what we're here for. So let's start off. Mr. Evan Olmstead, Halo going to PlayStation means Xbox loses its identity. The Holy Trinity, we stated this, right? Holy Trinity. If Halo, Gears, or Forza, that's the tripod, that's the triangle, that's the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, so to speak. Yes, if any one of those go, especially Halo, of course, if any of those go, they do lose their identity. They don't lose just their identity, they lose that power, that allure to the ecosystem, if you will. And of course, as you see below, COD Warfare at Xbox P3 tagging Phil Spencer himself. You put Halo on PlayStation, then this is a complete end of Xbox, you idiots. They're not the idiots. I mean, they are, but they're not the only idiots, is what I'm trying to state. The idiots there is buying into Game Pass and not having the forethought of thinking, hey, if we stop buying our games, if Game Pass doesn't work out, we're going to see these games end up elsewhere, because as a business, as a corporation, they need to make money, and you guys are not doing that. So this is more than likely what's going to happen. Now, keep in mind as we go through this is not officially coming multi-platform, but it's always been alluded that this is going to be the case, and this is just another hint of what's to come. So let's keep going here. So a lot coming under the Eurogamer thread here, of course, right? What Halo on Unreal Engine 5 means for PS5, and they talk about it and so on and so forth. But underneath these, as you can see, Ryan's not having a good time. R26 Games is not having a good time with this news right here. Not coming to PlayStation. No, it not, right? No, it not. I did not hit her mark. I did not. So trying to channel the Room vibes is what I'm seeing here. And then, of course, he goes on tagging Digital Foundry, stop, no more PlayStation. Stop. No more PlayStation. Stop, Mark. Stop. So he's going on, of course. And then, of course, at Community Notes, because he's freaking out. This guy's having a meltdown of a time right now.
Yikes.
Xbox PC only, not PlayStation. It's not happening, Mark. It's not. It's a horrible, probably the Room impression. However, I just want to kind of emphasize how crazy this is. This guy is not having a good time. I love to see it. I'm sure you all love to see it as well, but let's continue because under this thread, we also have a not Tara, not Cecil Harvey, of course. So you are a hard R here, not a good word, by the way. Do not condone that. Thinking it'll come to PlayStation. Why don't you all at Eurogamer go blank yourselves? Now he's just all upset at Eurogamer because he thinks they're spreading FUD. There's hints to this. They explain this in the article, of course. You can go check that out. But these guys are just not doing well with this news, and it's pretty hilarious in my opinion because, again, they've all done it to themselves. They've been cocky. Game Pass is the best thing since sliced bread, you name it. But we're not done here. Now let's go back to that Tom Warren post real quick about that notepad and what he stated. Of course, we have day 118895. We'll call out the whole thing here. Got to go for those easy clicks. If this happens, and Phil Spencer and company will officially go down as the ones that killed a great brand. Well, again, folks, gamers, Xbox gamers in particular, the fanboys over there, this is what we're all doing. Again, it's not just them. Are they a big, large part of it? Absolutely, of course, but who else also helped feed this, right? You guys did, like I just mentioned. You buy too much in the Game Pass, you put your trust over there, buy the games. If you guys bought the games, you wouldn't be having this conversation. You would not be having this conversation. But it is largely more on the corpo heads, absolutely. I'm not saying it's not, because they're not delivering the quality games you should be expecting from somebody with that kind of money in a bag that should be able to buy up all the best talent out there. I know we've been over this if you've been following the channel for a couple years now. I've stated all this, but for the newcomers, yes, I've gone over multiple times. With a company with that much of a bag, they should have been able to do anything. They should be able to buy their wins, so to speak, and they just can't do it. But in regards to that, the Xbox gamers and fanboys didn't put their money where their mouth is, so you have yourselves to blame as well. You refuted any claims that anybody would sit there and say, hey, Game Pass isn't the answer, guys, especially if this doesn't catch on, which a little ahead of its time in regards to that. Not everybody wants to be in a subscription service. And what happens to those games and buying those games? They need money. I never did see Game Pass being the end-all be-all. Right? Let's keep going. We have Savage ENT, or Savage ENT, whatever you want to claim it, with BW here. If Xbox P3, Bond, are this stupid to put Halo on PlayStation, they need to be fired immediately. Or, just a thought, I know it seems like an echo in this cave at this point, but maybe just a thought, you guys could have continued to spread word of mouth instead of downplaying everything and putting up that Game Pass. Do we see a theme, a recurring theme that nobody wants to pay attention to, that nobody wants to acknowledge, right? Put your fingers up, acknowledge it, right? Again, you have no one to blame but yourselves. Simple. Buy your games. You should have bought them. Now it's too little too late. We'll see what happens. A lot to unfold, but those guys have to make their money back with the acquisitions, especially with ZeniMax and ABK. Right? Right?
Hey, yo, what the?
Yes, that is correct. Let's keep going here. So, of course, IGN. Halo's move to Unreal Engine 5 would make it easier to develop for developer Halo Studios 343 Industries to take Xbox's flagship first-person shooter multi-platform, including a launch on PlayStation 5, tech experts have said, referencing, of course, Digital Foundry and such, right? So, Ganja here, as you can see, they would love to see Halo on their favorite PlayStation console, clown emoji, but I'm sorry to break your IGN bubble, poop an emoji. Halo will always be Xbox. If you want to play the new Halo so much, buy an Xbox, or, you know, a PC as well, since it's been on PC now for some time. But I don't know where these guys think that IGN holds up PlayStation in any regards, because they are filled with pretty much PlayStation haters, pro Xbox dudes between Brian McCaffrey, Brian Altano, who's mostly a Nintendo dude as well, obviously Destin Legary, and so on and so forth. They don't even have a true PlayStation guy there. When you try to do Max Scoville, you know, it's not it. He doesn't like PlayStation any more than the rest of the group in there. If anything, they downplay anything. Damon Hatfield, Matt Damon. You gotta love it. And not a single one of these guys, it's the figures of the forefront, right? The faces of IGN. Not one of these guys actually like PlayStation. So when you have folks in there and they have to report on something that's so obvious and they get upset at IGN, I love to see that as well. But folks, we got a couple more under the thread. We'll go back to the Eurogamer thread here, right? Whole Gaming, Chris85A here is not having it as well. What's wrong, Eurogamer? Do PlayStation not have enough games you want to start the port begging again? Huh? Pardon me? Port begging? Eurogamer's port begging? It's crazy. I love the thread. The thread's great, but we're not done with that thread yet. We got some more here. So, as you can see, Ice Cold. Who gives a crap about PlayStation 5? Halo is an Xbox IP. PS, ball lickers. You have to sit there and let it compute in your head. I am doing my best not to lose brain cells with some of these replies. But, of course, Meyer Park here as well. They are unhinged, LOL. When Sony goes bankrupt and no more PlayStation, then it's good. They want PlayStation to go bankrupt and gone. Forget about the quality games. Forget about Astrobot, Horizon, Last of Us, you know, you name it, right? God of War, Uncharted. I mean, those games are just, if they could just all go away, right? Ratchet and Clank, all these great quality games. Man, just go away, because all we need is Xbox making you go to a subscription service and giving us crap that they've given us for well over 20 years at this point. For the most part, most of their games don't land super well, but hey, they had Hellblade 2 this year so far, so that was great. That walking simulator was great. I'm glad they're giving us diamonds just like that, but everything that PlayStation was able to give us and into that ecosystem, I mean, they just need to go away, right? Right with you, Meyer Park. Let me tell you, genius right there. So one last one we're going to do, and we'll wrap it up here. Of course, we don't make it too long. We can go on and on forever here. But just to wrap it up, the theme of it being Halo, right? But I just want to share this quick little snippet here from Digital Foundry. Now, as you can see here, from a multi-platform game development perspective, moving to Unreal Engine 5 would certainly be easier for the developer than porting across the existing Slipspace engine. Digital Foundry boss Rich Ledbetter told me this morning. It stands to reason that an engine designed for deployment across multiple platforms would be easier to work with than existing technology built for Xbox and PC. So there you have it, in layman's terms, right? Real simple to understand there. Those words are real simple to understand. It doesn't take any dissecting. It's literally stating, hey, Slipspace, not a great engine, especially if you want to make this multi-platform. It's already available. Halo's already available on PC and Xbox, right? We don't know exactly. We shared some of the specs. We'll see if they end up being true for the Switch 2. So who knows how that's going to run things. But this is definitely looking like this would land on PlayStation. What better way to make some money back? Because we know, and this isn't a dig, all trolling and fanboyism aside, we do know most of the PlayStation ecosystem, most fans buy their games. People would buy Halo when it landed on PlayStation. Sea of Thieves did very well because it was a new IP. Let's check it out. Let's see what, we didn't try out. We didn't buy a system for. Let's see what Sea of Thieves is all about. Let's see what Grounded is all about. Both of those games did fairly well. Hi-Fi Rush, I'm not 100% sure how well that sold on PlayStation. I believe it sold more on PlayStation than, Xbox. We don't know to what degree of success that was to my knowledge. If you know, let me know down in the comments below, of course. But, so when we know a flagship IP like Halo would be coming, and the same thing for Forza or Gears of War, it's going to move numbers. Let's be honest here. So more than likely, this is breadcrumbs, right? This is a trail of breadcrumbs where, this is more than likely going to be a thing. This is going to be multi-platform. This was kind of leaked a while ago. I have a lot of insiders throwing this around as well. You have to take it with a grain of salt, but it's looking more and more likely as the days go on and more Xbox first-party studio IPs are coming over to multi-platform. And it just makes sense as a whole because of everything that's been unfolding through the last years, and Xbox is just not competing in the hardware space anymore as they would like to, or make their money back. And of course, Game Pass being a big detractor for all that in the long run, right? That being said, though, we will wrap it up. I just wanted to share all that. A lot of good stuff. Expect to see more salt coming from this sort of stuff as well, because, well, it's going to continue to happen. So the never-ending supply will also continue to happen. That being said, I always, of course, want to tell you, be sure to like, be sure to comment down below, because I do love to hear from you. That does help out the video, does help out the algorithm. And of course, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. That does help out a small content creator like myself. We are clearing all the way up to 2,500 sub goal. We're getting so close there. You guys, thank you so much. Honestly, your support is absolutely immense, and I really do appreciate that. So thanks again. And as always, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.